INFJs are often described as mysterious, quiet, and incredibly deep thinkers. Known as the advocate personality in the Myers-Briggs system, they make up less than 2% of the population. That rarity isn't just about their personality traits. It also reflects how selectively they give their heart away. For the INFJ, love isn't casual. They spend years imagining what their ideal partner might be like, analyzing relationships, and quietly observing people. So when they finally meet the one, the person who understands them at a soul level, it triggers something powerful inside them. It's not just falling in love. It's transformation. And while INFJs are often cautious, private, and slow to trust, finding the one can flip certain parts of their personality in ways that surprise even them. The shift is deep, emotional, and real. Their usual emotional distance becomes fierce devotion. Their inner world starts to open, and the partner lucky enough to be on the receiving end of that love will feel something unlike any connection they've ever experienced. In this video, we'll explore 6 surprising things that happen when the INFJ finds the one. Some are beautiful, some are unexpected, but all of them offer a glimpse into what it really means to be loved by an INFJ. Thing number 1. They become fiercely loyal and protective. When an INFJ falls in love with the right person, loyalty isn't just a trait, it becomes a part of who they are. Their entire emotional focus narrows in on that one person, and they will go out of their way to protect the relationship, emotionally and even physically if needed. This protectiveness doesn't come from insecurity or jealousy, it comes from care. INFJs don't easily trust. It can take months or even years for them to believe someone truly understands them. So once they find someone who sees past their quietness and gets the real version of them, they hold on tight. They may not always express it in grand public gestures, but their loyalty shows in subtle and powerful ways. For example, they'll stand up for you when you're not around. If someone criticizes you unfairly, even slightly, the INFJ may quietly pull away from that person. They'll filter their social life, adjust priorities, and reorganize their world to keep your bond protected. This behavior can seem intense, but for the INFJ, it's just natural. They're idealists at heart. They believe in love that lasts, love that changes lives. And when they believe they've found it, they go all in. They also have an incredibly sharp emotional radar. If they sense that someone is manipulating you, using you, or treating you with disrespect, they will immediately put up a wall. This can be shocking to people who only know the INFJ as soft-spoken or gentle. But when it comes to love, that softness is paired with strength. They're not afraid to burn bridges to keep you safe. In private, this loyalty takes on emotional depth. They remember the little things, how your voice changes when you're sad, which jokes make you laugh, what you worry about at night. They become emotionally tuned in. And if you're in pain, they will feel it too. It's as if their emotional boundary disappears when they love someone deeply. Your struggle becomes their struggle. Your joy becomes their joy. There's also an intense need to protect the emotional space between the two of you. INFJs value depth and peace, so they will fight to keep outside negativity away from the relationship. Toxic friends, stressful environments, or shallow distractions, none of that is allowed near the emotional home they're building with you. That said, they don't demand the same level of intensity right away from their partner. INFJs understand that people show love differently. But once they have chosen someone, they'll hold space, wait patiently, and protect the connection while it grows. At the end of the day, this loyalty isn't about control, it's about devotion. It's the kind of loyalty that says, I've chosen you and I'm here. Not just for now, for the long run. Thing number 2. They become your biggest fan. When an INFJ finds the one, they don't just fall in love with your smile or your personality, they fall in love with your potential. They see everything you are and everything you could become all at once. And once they do, they'll work quietly and consistently to lift you up. INFJs are natural supporters. They might not always be loud or flashy about it, but when they believe in someone, they believe with everything they have. If you've been doubting yourself, feeling stuck, or holding back from your goals, the INFJ in your life will be the person reminding you who you really are. They'll notice things others miss, your small victories, your strengths, even your struggles, and they'll gently encourage you to grow. Maybe you've talked about writing a book someday. An INFJ won't just nod. They'll bring it up months later, ask how it's going, or even help you brainstorm ideas. That's the level of attention they give. They also offer the kind of emotional support that feels rare. When you're stressed or overwhelmed, they don't just try to fix the problem. They sit with you in the hard moments. They validate your feelings. They make you feel seen. And sometimes that's more powerful than any solution. Another thing that makes them unique, they don't compete with you. INFJs don't feel the need to be better than their partner. Your success is their success. If you win, they feel like they've won too. And they'll celebrate your growth even more than their own. Their admiration is not blind, though. If you start to lose track of your values or treat yourself poorly, they will gently call it out. Not in a way that makes you feel judged, but in a way that shows they care too much to stay silent. They might write you long messages reminding you of your strengths. They may create little systems to help you manage stress. They'll remember your dreams and find ways to keep them alive. That's what being your biggest fan looks like in the INFJ world. In a relationship with an INFJ, you'll likely grow, not because they force it, but because they inspire it. Their quiet faith in you becomes a mirror, showing you parts of yourself you forgot were there. It's not always loud. It's not always obvious. But it's always powerful. Thing number 3. They open up, but only at their own pace. INFJs are some of the most private people you'll ever meet. Even when they care deeply about someone, they don't immediately share everything they feel or think. It's not because they don't trust their partner. It's because their inner world is so rich, complex, and sensitive that sharing it feels like giving away something sacred. When an INFJ finds the one, they start to open up in small, meaningful steps. It may begin with little things, talking more often, letting their guard down, or inviting you into their quiet moments. Over time, they'll share their personal history, past wounds, and their deepest thoughts about life, love, and the future. But they do it slowly, carefully, on their own terms. This pacing isn't about playing games or testing your patience. It's about safety. INFJs are highly intuitive, and they can sense whether someone will truly honor their emotional truth. So even when they love someone, they need time to feel completely secure before revealing the full version of themselves. One moment you might feel like you've finally broken through their emotional wall, and the next day, they may become quiet again. This doesn't mean something is wrong. It's just how they process. INFJs spend a lot of time inside their own minds, reflecting and analyzing their feelings. And even in love, they need space to do that. When they do begin to open up, it's a sign of deep trust. They might tell you about childhood memories they've never shared before. Or they might reveal their biggest fears, like the fear of being misunderstood or the fear of losing themselves in a relationship. These confessions don't come easily, and they're never casual. In fact, INFJs often rehearse their thoughts before saying them out loud. They want their words to match their emotions, and they worry about being too much, too intense, or too serious. So when they do choose to share something vulnerable, it means they've already spent a long time thinking about it. For their partner, this slow unfolding can feel like discovering secret layers of a beautiful story. Each new chapter brings deeper connection. The INFJ will let you in on their dreams, their beliefs, their sense of purpose. And they'll start to ask bigger questions, Not just, how was your day? But what are you afraid of? And what does love really mean to you? Eventually, the INFJ will stop hiding. They'll show you their full emotional range, the passion, the sensitivity, the occasional darkness, and the constant drive for meaning. And when that happens, you'll know you've entered a space most people never reach with them. Their emotional honesty becomes a gift, and their vulnerability becomes the strongest proof of their love. Thing number 4. They think about you, constantly. When an INFJ falls in love, their mind doesn't shut off. They think. A lot. And once they've found someone who truly matters to them, that person starts to occupy their thoughts in a deep and lasting way. This isn't surface-level daydreaming. It's not just wondering what you're up to or remembering the last date. INFJs think about who you are, how you feel, where your life is going, and what role they play in your story. They reflect on your words, your moods, your silences. They try to understand you fully, sometimes even more than you understand yourself. This constant thinking isn't obsessive, it's just how they love. INFJs process emotions and relationships internally. So instead of expressing everything out loud, they carry their feelings inside, turning them over, exploring different angles. You become a part of their mental world. They may imagine future scenarios, what your life together could look like, how you'll handle challenges, how you'll grow as a couple. They may replay conversations to see if they missed anything important. They may pick up on emotional cues that no one else notices and think about how to support you better next time. They also reflect on your impact. INFJs are always trying to make sense of the meaning behind their relationships. So when they love someone, they ask themselves, what am I learning from this person? And how am I becoming better because of them? But here's what makes this trait unique. They don't expect you to do the same. They're not demanding constant attention in return. They simply carry you with them, quietly, lovingly, through their thoughts and reflections. This means they might surprise you. You'll mention something in passing, and weeks later, they'll bring it up again, remembering every detail. You'll have a rough day, and they'll sense it before you say a word. That's because you're on their mind, even when you're not around. They also think about how to protect your emotional world. What do you need, even if you haven't said it? What are you struggling with behind the scenes? INFJs think in layers, and when they love someone, they don't stop at the surface. Sometimes their partner may not even realize how deeply they're being held in the INFJ's mind. But it shows in the way the INFJ listens, the questions they ask, and the space they create for emotional safety. So if you're with an INFJ and you ever wonder, do they really care? The answer is yes. Even if they're quiet, even if they're distant for a moment. Behind the scenes, they're thinking about you constantly. Thing number 5. Their love is shown more in actions than words. INFJs are not always verbal when it comes to expressing love. While they may enjoy meaningful conversations, they don't always say, I love you out loud, as often as other people do. Instead, they show it through consistent, thoughtful, and often subtle actions. When an INFJ finds the one, their focus turns to caretaking, service, and emotional presence. You may not hear grand romantic speeches, but you'll notice how they remember the little things that matter to you. They'll make your favorite tea without asking. They'll give you space when you're overwhelmed. They'll check in after a hard day just to make sure you're okay. These aren't random acts. They're intentional. INFJs observe their partners closely. They learn your habits, your emotional patterns, what helps you calm down, what brings you joy. And then they use that knowledge to take care of you in a way that feels natural, not forced. For INFJs, love is about making life better for the person they care about. That might mean solving a problem behind the scenes, offering help before you ask for it, or creating an atmosphere of peace and trust. Even if they're not physically affectionate all the time, They'll create emotional warmth in every interaction. You might also notice they express love through quality time. Not just spending hours together, but being fully present during that time. INFJs can make even quiet moments feel special. Watching a movie, taking a walk, or just sitting in silence becomes a form of connection. Some INFJs also show love through creativity. They might write you a letter, make a playlist, or create something that reflects your bond. These gestures aren't meant to impress. They're meant to communicate feeling in a way that words sometimes can't. Their actions might be missed by people who expect louder displays of affection. But for those who pay attention, the depth of their care becomes obvious. INFJs won't just tell you they love you. They'll show it, every day in quiet and powerful ways. And while they may not always ask for much in return, they appreciate when their efforts are noticed. A simple thank you can mean the world to them. It reminds them that their quiet way of loving is enough. If you're in a relationship with an INFJ and you ever feel unsure about how they feel, look at how they treat you. Look at what they do when you're hurting, or when you're happy, or when you need support. Their love might not always be loud, but it's always present. Thing number 6. Even in love, they need space to recharge. Even when an INFJ is deeply in love, they still need time alone. This isn't about pulling away or losing interest. It's about recharging. INFJs are true introverts, which means being around people, even the ones they care about, can slowly drain their energy. So when they disappear for a little while, it's not a sign of distance in the relationship. It's actually a sign that they're trying to stay healthy and balanced, so they can continue showing up with love, patience, and clarity. To someone unfamiliar with this part of the INFJ personality, it might be confusing. After all, they're deeply connected, loyal, and present. So why would they suddenly need to spend a day alone, or go quiet during a conversation? The answer is simple: they process internally. INFJs carry a lot in their minds and hearts. They think deeply, feel deeply, and notice things others overlook. All of that inner work requires space. When they're alone, they're not shutting out their partner. They're sorting through thoughts, recharging their emotions, and reconnecting with their center. This habit doesn't change, even in love. But what does change is how they share it. Once they find someone who understands them, they'll be more open about their need for space. They might say, "I just need a quiet night," or "I'm going for a long walk to clear my mind." They won't expect you to fix anything. They just need the silence to breathe. The good news is, if they truly love you, you're part of their quiet time too. INFJs often enjoy what's called parallel presence. That means they're comfortable being in the same room as you, doing different things without talking much. Just being near you, in a peaceful setting, can feel just as intimate to them as a long conversation. So how can a partner support this part of the INFJ? Respect their rhythm. Don't pressure them to always be on. If they go quiet, let it happen without judgment. They're not hiding, they're restoring. Give them the mental and emotional room they need, and you'll often find they come back even more loving and attentive. Also understand that space is not a punishment. INFJs aren't using silence to hurt you or send a message. They genuinely need time away from noise, overstimulation, and sometimes even from emotional intensity. It doesn't mean they love you less. It means they love you enough to take care of themselves so the relationship can thrive. Once an INFJ feels safe in the relationship, they'll begin to teach their partner how to navigate this part of them. They'll open up about their triggers, their emotional limits, and their unique ways of finding peace. And in return, they'll make space for your needs too. In fact, INFJs often try to create a calm, nurturing atmosphere in the relationship. They crave harmony, not chaos. So when both partners understand and honor each other's boundaries, the result is a quiet, supportive bond that doesn't need constant noise to feel alive. Loving an INFJ means accepting this dance, close connection followed by quiet solitude. And once that rhythm is respected, the relationship becomes not just loving, but also deeply healing. Being loved by an INFJ is unlike anything else. It's not loud or showy, but it's powerful. It's built on deep thought, quiet strength, emotional loyalty, and soulful connection. When they find the one, everything about them shifts in subtle, beautiful ways. They protect. They uplift. They open up slowly but fully. They carry you in their thoughts. They show love in action. And even when they need space, they still love you with quiet intensity. INFJs don't fall in love often. But when they do, they give everything, not recklessly, but with purpose. So if you're lucky enough to be the one they've chosen, know that you're not just part of their life, you've become part of their world. Respect their space. Celebrate their loyalty. And most of all, notice the small things they do, because that's where their love truly lives. Thanks for watching. If you connected with this video, stay tuned for more insight into the minds of rare and powerful personalities like the INFJ.